Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So today we're checking out another product from Eufy. So this is their new Smart Display E10. So this is designed to be a sort of central point for all of your Eufy products, all of your cameras and other accessories that you may have from them. So this basically enables you to log in and have a display somewhere within your house, and it is a portable display as well. So you can have it on the home base, the charging dock, or you can also have it on a wall mount, and then the actual tablet itself is removable as well. So if you want to, you can actually remove this and take it with you. And I believe it does have a little kickstand built into it as well. So whilst you do have it in the sort of mobile mode, you can actually stand it up as well. So in terms of what you get in the pack, here you can see all of the various different accessories. You can see it does come with the instruction manual, it comes with that wall mount, and it does have the charging dock as well. This is the wall mount that's included, so as you can see it just attaches easily onto that. You do get the quick start guide along with it to give you all the information. It comes with the usual Eufy security sticker that you can stick on if you want, and then the accessories include the charging dock, the power adapter, and depending on where you order this from, because it is from Amazon, it will come with the relevant power adapter for your country. The one that I received also came with a 32 gig memory card included, as well as an additional clip in order to tidy the cabling if you do choose to use the wall mount. So that just tidies up the cabling a little, and it does also come with a right angled USB-A to, I believe it was USB-C cable, as well as some wall clips and some other little accessories just to tidy up the cabling as well. The screen itself does have a couple of pins on the bottom, and that's what enables you to actually just use that dock and just drop it on there, and it will then begin to charge via that method. Here you can see everything that's included, so everything that you need to get fully set up and get you up and running. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual unit itself. So currently I do have it on always on mode, so the screen won't switch off. Now if you do use the power button manually, then it will switch it off. And you do have functions where you can set it to automatically come back on, depending on the distance you are away from it. But seeing as I've set it to always be on, I don't think I really need to use that. So this is your sort of lock screen, if you like. So you have your time, you have a couple of shortcuts, you have your live button to go straight to live view, and then you have the events button there as well. You can choose to have these other widgets on or disable them, so guarding today, and there's a few other ones you'll see on the home screen. If you want, you can disable them, but this is just to give you a quick glance at basically what's happened, so what's going on. So to unlock, just swipe up, and this is your home screen, if you like. So straight up you have your live streaming, and all of this you can rearrange. You can get rid of stuff that you don't want, and you can hide stuff as well. So first up, your major widget is your live streaming. Next to that you have playback, so this is all your events. Next to that you have cross camera tracking, so any events that have gone beyond one camera. So obviously for this you do need multiple cameras, as I do have. And then next to that you have a list of all your devices as well. Now to edit these, it's very simple. You just go to that, and then you can add and remove whatever you like. As you can see, I have already disabled quite a lot of stuff. So that's devices such as the home bases, which there's no point in having that there because it doesn't actually benefit you. And also cameras that aren't currently in use as well. You can rearrange them just by pressing and dragging left and right. So yeah, you can add and remove and disable and hide whatever you like from there. So your home screen is relatively simple. So coming back onto your live streaming, and you can set this up in your settings to choose whatever cameras you like. So if you have multiple cameras, as I do, then you can choose what's group 1, what's group 2, and as you swipe up you'll go through your various settings for group 1, group 2, group 3 if you have that many cameras, group 4, your smart box will show up. Yeah, all of those will show up, and it will just kind of try to connect. Now ideally what you want to do is your group 1s, you want that primarily as wide cameras if possible, because that's the one that's going to jump to first. What's one of these is, so my porch camera is a wide connection, the other ones aren't, so it has to still load that in the background. Coming out of that you do have your recent events, and this is exactly the same as on the iPhone, so it's literally just all of the recent events that have occurred, and it will just give you a dashboard view as well as the actual events view as well. I mean, the dashboard I think is a bit overkill. That's far too much information for my liking. I don't think you really need to be seeing all of this, graphs and pie charts and stuff like that. but hey, it's there for people that want it. And then the events is obviously a lot easier to just scroll through and find any events that you're looking for. Your cross camera tracking is similar thing, so it's just your events where they've managed to track it beyond one single camera. And then coming on to the actual devices itself, let's say for example you wanted to actually just click into something, and depending on the device, so most devices just have an option to either enable or disable, and then when you click into it, it gives you the option to go live, and then you have a couple of options, so you can either disable the camera or put it into snooze mode if you don't want notifications going crazy for that. On something like porch lights, because you also have a built-in floodlight, you can also enable and disable the light straight from this menu as well. So that's a little bit of extra functionality, and then you can also just hit go live and that will jump into the actual camera itself. And as you can see, with the wide cameras it's going to be pretty quick, it's almost instant. With battery powered cameras it does still have to boot up, so it will take a little bit longer. Now in terms of settings, there's two ways of getting into settings. So you do have gesture control, so you do have like a sort of control center if you like, and you have a few quick shortcuts, your brightness, your volume. So for your brightness you do have an adaptive option, so even though you can set it to the max brightness here, it will adapt depending on the room's brightness. So when you turn the lights off, it's not too bright, it will adapt and dim that down for you. So the two ways of getting into the main settings is either using the cog there, or you can also do it from here as well. So when you first get this device you will have a firmware update, so do that first. And the reason I say that is because it's a little annoying that when it did the firmware update, you have to actually log back in. So in order to actually log into this device, essentially you're just logging into your Eufy account. Now, because I have like a 16-digit passcode, it's quite annoying having to type that out. I'm not sure if it's going to do it every single time, but the initial update that I got, it basically booted me out and I had to log back in again, which was kind of annoying because on the iPhone, it just automatically puts your password in. So having to type that across is a little annoying, but the touchscreen on this is relatively good, so typing on it isn't a problem. It brings up the full QWERTY keyboard for you. If we come onto my device, so you have a few settings, so I was already in that. So you have your device info, and you have your updates, so this is where it will show any updates available. You have storage. My particular device did come with a 32GB SD card, so you can add external storage, and as you can see I'm not actually using all of my internal storage yet anyway. And it does give you the options and give you all the information here in terms of formatting and clearing up any old data that you don't want. You have languages, and there's not as many languages as I thought there might have been, but yeah, it covers most of the main ones. You have your date and time settings, and this way you can enable or disable 24-hour clock, and then obviously set your geolocation to automatically set it, and then you have your factory reset and upload log. So auto view is where you can enable and disable cameras to come up automatically depending on when motion is detected. So the only ones that I have this enabled for is my video doorbell and also the wired cameras as well. So because they're wired, it can track them 24/7, and I also believe I have it for my back garden or my back gate camera, because if anybody ever comes through the back gate, then yeah, it should pop up, because that's quite rare for somebody to be using that entrance. Cross camera tracking, similar thing. You can go in, there's quite a lot of settings here that you can adapt and change. This is all stuff that you can set up on the iPhone as well, but it gives you a little bit of customization here as well. Below that you have your wireless LAN settings, so obviously this does need a wireless connection. I believe ideally you want 5 GHz for this. Your action button you can change to do whatever you want, so you can have it as alarm, you can have it as silent mode, you can have it as do not disturb, or one tap view, so that's basically your live view. So that's what I've got mine set to, so if I tap it, it'll go straight into those four cameras that I chose to have on my main screen. Your screen settings, this way you can set light, dark mode, and also have it adaptive. The one thing I don't like is it's not using your geolocation to figure out what time sunset is and automatically switching. You do have to manually put in what time you want this to switch over. As I said, you do have adaptive brightness, so even though you can set your slider, you can also enable adaptive brightness, so you don't have to have it really bright in a dark room, and also you don't have to manually keep changing it. You do have screen timer. As I mentioned, I've got mine set to never, so in theory, unless I lock it manually, it should always remain on the lock screen, even if it does lock. And below that you do have the settings for the always on display, and you can set once again timing. I would prefer if they just had this as sunrise to sunset, that kind of thing. And this is the auto wake function that I mentioned, so if you do enable this, it gives you a distance option for how far you want somebody away before it detects motion and automatically enables the display for you. Your notifications, so this is the various reports that I mentioned, so you can either turn these on, turn these off. For now, obviously for the video, I've left them on. Personally, I don't find any of these useful because the way my property is laid out, I get a lot of sort of replicated events. So it's basically just people going out to put stuff in the trash bin or something like that. And because of that, it's mostly useless. I don't really need this sort of data, but I thought I'd leave it on just for the video. And you can also come in here and change the notification sound for various devices. So it's kind of strange, but for me, the doorbell is the security one. So this is bell. This is the default one. As you can see, that's not really a bell sound. That's more of a bell sound to me. So that's the only one that I've changed, and I've left everything else as default. You can also come into the sound section and change a few other settings, so your button presses and also your notifications volumes. I've just left them maxed out because wherever this is used, generally that room is going to be quite noisy, so I need it to be a little bit louder. You can also set rules as well. Now, I don't need to use any of these because of, as I mentioned, because of where my cameras are, because of how they're utilized, I don't necessarily need any of these to be set up. And finally, you can also customize the alarms settings on all your devices as well. So most Eufy devices have a built-in alarm function, and you can either have this play a sound, some even have built-in lights, so you can have the light flash as well. So I believe the driveway one, yeah, so as you can see with that one, you do have the option of the light as well, and then you can also have it function for the home base as well, so it'll play a sound through the home base at the same time. Now coming on to battery, so this is a wireless device. As you can see, you can take this off the dock and then use it. During setup I did, and that's the little animation, very Apple-esque that they've done there with it popping up. That's the charging animation, and yeah, your battery percentage, you can either have it on or off, and then obviously your current battery level is shown there as well. Your passcode, I have this disabled because it's in the house. I want people to be able to access it. I don't want it to be hidden behind a passcode. Obviously, if you do have sensitive cameras, or cameras in sensitive areas, I should say, then you can enable the passcode. But for me, it's fine. I just leave it as it is. And then finally, at the bottom, you have basically your guides for if you've skipped past certain bits, then you can go back through this and it'll give you information in terms of how to do certain functions. So yeah, very simple. Personally, I'm not a fan of this sort of layout. I would have preferred if the home screen was primarily just your live streaming. So I would have preferred it to have been something like this. And then all your other extra functionality I would have wanted behind a separate sort of screen. So I would have wanted to come into this separately. So this sort of layout, rather than having this being my home screen and then the other ones being something that you have to click into. I understand why they would do it like that, because even still the majority of Eufy products are still battery powered, and for that reason obviously this just gives you a screenshot, whereas having them go straight in would actually consume the battery life. But if it's only events driven, then I would have preferred it that way. What I also don't like is occasionally you will get a notification on the home screen for a update for a particular camera or home base or something like that, and that update on the phones, obviously you can go in, you can check details. On the actual screen, it's pretty much useless. When you click into it, it just says update. It doesn't give you any information. So I think those notifications can just be hidden. Like there's no reason to push that notification onto the home screen itself. Okay, and one final test just to show you is the doorbell. So I'm gonna go and press my doorbell now. So I'm pressing it in 3, 2, 1, go.
Someone has pressed the doorbell.
And as you can see, it pops up very quickly. So it's showing you bitrate in the top right. So if you click on screen, you've got some functions. So you can obviously talk, you can flip the cameras around. So depending on which camera you want to utilize, because this is a dual camera doorbell, and then you do have quick replies as well. Yeah, so in order to boot it out, I think it's roughly probably set to about half a minute. I did have it once where it just didn't boot out, so I'm not sure whether that was before the update or not, but it just stayed on screen, and then I had to actually go in and boot it out myself. And obviously depending on where this is and where the doorbell is, sometimes you do get some echoing between the two devices, which yeah, that can get really annoying. But overall, This is exactly what I think every sort of home-based security system needs, or at least camera system, where you've got a quicker access than simply having it on a mobile phone, which you have to take out. Having something centralized where you can just quickly see it, especially for things like doorbells and motion cameras like the porch one, where you can see who's there and answer it, or not, if you choose to not answer it without having to actually go to the door and figure it out, or pull out your phone. That loaded a lot faster than it does on your phone. So that's the main sort of takeaway, the fact that it's so fast and so responsive. That for me is the main thing. So yeah, I've only had it for a little while, but obviously the testing will continue depending on different cameras usage, how it performs with the battery cameras, whether it drains the battery more with those or not. I'll basically give you an update video somewhere down the line, but initially I just wanted to get this video out to give you my thoughts and impressions on this particular device. And yeah, if you have any questions, comments, drop them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them as always. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, I'd really appreciate if you can give this video a thumbs up. And until the next one, thanks very much for watching.